Well, I am here at Mohawk Raceway. It's getting dark. I did have a nap today. I could have done this video at 3 o'clock. I got some paperwork to do, but you know what? I had a long few days and I was tired. And I had a nap. So, a big day of qualifying and schooling today. Steve's with me. Steve Palermo's here with me. We're getting ready for his horse to race. Never a dull day. We'll talk about what went on today at the schoolers. We'll get the qualifiers out of the way. American League. Threw the trot and hobbles on him and went with him. He was better. He's a claimer. He's a B-track horse, and I think we got him qualified. Maybe we'll sell him. I'm not sure. There has been a couple of people ask about him, so we'll shop him around. The Butler Did It was disappointing today. A little lethargic in the mile. I thought he went a little faster than I think they charged him a 2.4. I thought he went a mile in 2.2, 2.3. Watch the video. See, that's the thing, is that they do the qualifiers by hand. They don't use the Trackus, so, which is a problem. Not that it matters. So he went in 2.3 and 4 instead of 2.4 and 3 or whatever. I thought when I was eyeballing the mile, I thought he went a mile in 2.2, but I could have been wrong. I expected more from him today. He was a little lethargic. I did see some holes in him, running in a little bit, little rollier in the turns. Don't think he needs a trot and boots. We're going to go to a set of bandages with him, work on his front feet, and do a little vet work on him. He'll start next Saturday at Flamborough Downs, but coming off a very dull qualifier, it's got some shoes to fill. You know, I've been saying this colt trained well 2 weeks ago, trained well again last week. Not the same horse today, not from what I could see. So, no apparent reason for that. He just was a little flat. So, those were really the qualifiers. We moved into the schoolers. We had 4, 7, at least 9 schoolers. We'll start with the highlight for a bad reason of the day. Steve and I's horse, we both own considerable shares in Casanova's Jewel. He was going a beautiful mile in 58. Everything looked good. And then he caught a shoe or something halfway down the lane and dropped. And was down in a heap, bent the bike, threw me onto the track, but I landed on my feet. I'm like a cat that way most times. So it was funny. I said to somebody, you know, this is the demeanor of Casanova's Jewel. Yeah, he made a mistake or something happened. He didn't even run. He just dropped. He got up and kind of shook it off and walked back to the paddock. And just a real cool customer in a pretty stressful time for horses. You can imagine going 30, 35 miles an hour and then just dropping now. Got some scrapes on him, a little bit of road bark, but missing a little bit of road rash on him, but he'll be fine. Little bluing and a week off, and he'll be good. A week of jogging. We'll qualify him back in 2 weeks. I saw a few little things we're going to tweak and change, but for the most part, I was pretty happy with Casanova's Jewel. Outside of the mishap and the falling down, hey, those things happen. It's not what happens when you get knocked down. It's how you are when you get up. And you know, it's not the end of the world. There was no injuries to speak of other than some scrapes and bruises, and old Cass, he'll bounce back just fine. War We Alter also schooled. Another mile around 2.3, 2.4. A little flat, but trotting great. Looks great. A little heavy soon, which was never her problem. She was always real thin last year, so she's a little heavier than she was last year. We'll probably qualify her next week or the week after. Kevin's horses are all ready to go now. Buckingham, Timo Houdini, and Timo Tulo all schooled today. James said Timo Houdini was absolutely fabulous. Scott Young really liked Timo Tulo, and I didn't get to talk to Scott a lot about it. He went with Buckingham. As you can imagine, we had 4 schoolers and like a billion horses to qualify in school. So Scott Young also went with Buckingham. I didn't get to catch up with him much. He said she was pretty good, running out a little bit in the straightaway, but I know Kevin had a big head pull and Murphy blind on the inside. Easy to fix. It's just equipment being tweaked. Jason had our 4 Ohio horses going here. That was a big deal. I wanted to make sure I went with West 52nd. Not as good as I hoped he'd be, but much, much better. I went a mile around 59 or 2 minutes. We're going to take all these horses up to the vet tomorrow before they leave Saturday for Ohio. Oso Pine was very, very good. James went with him. West 52nd was pretty good. I went with him. Yes was very, very good. Jonathan Drury went with him. Now, Sylvain Filion went with CU in Tuscany. Said he was biting the left line. I noticed he was doing that last week in the qualifier. I had mentioned that. Biting the left line down the lane. So we're going to have him up to the vet. Last year, we had the vet in Ohio look at him quite a few times. Always the left stifle was bothering him. So I think I know where we're going to have to look. But we're going to have him up to the vet tomorrow morning to have a look at him. And Dance Hall Babe, I was just telling Steve the story. Dance Hall Babe was schooling. So Dance Hall Babe wears a strap that goes from the point of the bike back. The bikes are a little wider as they come out, right? So we'll wear usually a gating pole, which is a pole that moves around and you can maneuver it with your feet to keep the horses closer or straight in the bike, or a gating strap. We just had a gating strap on her last week and she was good. So we were running around, and Sylvain was going with the horse. I said, can you go with Dance Hall Babe in the 4th? Yep, no problem. He's going out the door and it dawns on me, I don't have a drive in the 4th. So I'm getting a little tired. I'm like, yeah, Sylvain can go with it. So he goes on the track. Jason goes up to the driver's room, overlooks the racetrack. So we're in the driver's room and I can hear, I have metal wheels on that bike, and I can hear behind the gate, ting, ting, from a way, way away, like a quarter of a mile away. Ting, ting. Jason looks at me, and I know he can hear it too. He looks at me and he goes, ah, Jesus, I forgot to put the gate and strap on. I turn around and look at him. The gate and strap is literally around his neck. It's literally hanging on his neck like Mr. T's chain. Right there, right on his neck. So anyway, she made a little break leaving the gate. Was great after that, went a mile and 2-1. I would actually prefer to put a gating pole on that filly, because what happens, a lot of those horses, they touch themselves right up on their jacks, and they'll end up touching their knees. You put that gating strap on, they'll lean on it in the turns, and then they come out of the turns into the straightaways, and they'll coast off of it. They'll end up interfering in a different way. So a gating pole, because what happens is you can push that pole over tight to them, and then as you come out of the turn, you can release it, release the slack, and they can coast back over to the center piece of the bike, the center of the bike. So that's what we're going to have on Dance Hall Babe. Still, Sylvain said she tried the last half in 101 and looked pretty good. A few little changes with her. She didn't have the hobbles on today, and I don't know if she'll need them. I'm going to say hopefully not, but we will see next week. Probably get Sylvain to go with her again next week with a gating pole on. Why won't I go with her? I'll be in Ohio. So, that's the qualifying report. We're not obviously going to do this every time, but when we have 10, 12 horses over here, it's always good to update everybody in this manner. For the most part, a great day. Casanova made a little miscue and had a little tumble, but he bounced back up and he'll be just fine. And everybody else, for the most part, pretty good. A little disappointed with Butler's performance in the qualifier. We'll see how he bounces back next Saturday. Take care, everybody. I will talk to you soon. Steve and I are going to watch, which horse is Speedy Duncan?
Speedy Duncan.
Speedy Duncan race. And then I have Twinsburg, first start of the year, racing tonight, and then back with the big boy Mystical Mission later on. Take care.